Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus, and I'm back again. You know, when I was growing up and going to school, we missed a lot as Black people, especially in the area that I grew up in, Mississippi. We didn't get too much information about anything about the history of Black people. The only thing that I can remember that was outside of what maybe we got our hands on was Tarzan and shows like that. But as far as what Black people had done, how they had created for themselves their own Wall Street, how they had built cities, how they had established those cities with the same resources that any city, and how they had progressed. And to think that a group of people would, because they were dark skinned people and these were light skinned people, would have so much animosity towards the success of these people that they would go in and tear down the town, run the people out and kill them and burn the town down to the ground. And this was happening all over the country. Wherever Black people would go and start picking themselves up by their own bootstraps, somebody would come, not know somebody, white folks, the same ones that had them under slavery, would come and do the things that they. And you had people like Elijah Muhammad saying that white people were devils. Well, see, he was older than we were. He knew about more of had been going on. We didn't get it, and it wasn't happening at least to that kind of magnitude at that time when we were growing up. And if it were, we were so brainwashed we didn't know what was going on. But anyway, you sit there and you watch this because it's coming out now. That information is being made all across the board. Then I can see why white people would be afraid of Black people getting in power because they think that their way of running this thing is the truest way. And they think that the only way Black people could run it is to do it the same way they did it. And if they do it like that, then now we're in that same seat. We are going to do to them the same thing that they did to us because to them, that's what you do with power. But many of us were brought up listening to Dr. King, who was saying, yes, I don't call them devils. They might be devils because of the way they ignore other people and disrespect other people and treat other people. But I think rather than getting angry with them, and maybe we should talk it out. That's, well, whatever he said, he made it sound like it was acceptable to a lot of Blacks where I'm from. Now, a lot of Blacks believed in that Malcolm X stuff. I was crazy about Malcolm X, but we had been taught against violence. And a lot of times it appeared as if they didn't mind some violence. And being from where my school of thought was, the violence just couldn't go, and Dr. King wasn't talking about violence. So that's the one we held on to. Now, we loved them both, but we just held on, and we would support them both. Well, we were supporting them both, but we had one we supported more than the other. We didn't just give money if we gave any, but we gave our mouth. We gave our hand service. We went to prison. We went to jail. So, and now, having stood up and made white people, the people in power, feel a little embarrassed and ashamed, so they start giving in a little of this and a little of that. And now it has come to the point in time in our government where the same white man wants to take away everything that was given. And I said given because that's the way they saw it, as given. And they saw us back in the cotton fields, chopping cotton or picking fruits or picking cucumbers and taking away any kind of right that had ever been established. That's what they're talking about today. Now, that lets you know that that same evil that was existing back there when people were being on that slave boat is the same evil that's in America today. And to think that white people know this just as much as we do. They put Donald Trump in office. So that's 3 times better. That's just telling black folks, I mean, I can't think of anything more ugly than that, than for white people who have done everything they possibly could to black people. Stick Donald Trump in office, knowing what he is, knowing that everything that he is speaks to who they are. And ladies and gentlemen, you think the Democrats got an offer for that? They don't. You think another party got an offer for that? No, they don't. It's just a part of the same thing. It might not be as bad, but it's the same track. Because there is not but one other track, and that's the right track. And the right track is different than the stuff that we have. And I'm not going to say it's a black man's thing, because to me, it's not a black man's thing. To me, it's a God's thing. See, I happen to have been fortunate enough to recognize God's hand in my own life that solidified the thought that there was something superior to me, that there was something superior to the powers that be, an invisible force that was able to do anything. And I saw it. So there's no doubt in my mind. And when I see just what I've got through explaining to you how white people are treating black people, and maybe in some parts of the world, black people might have treated other people the same way. I'm sure it's just a duplication of stuff. None of it is the right stuff. It's just people doing different stuff. You see, the right stuff works for me and it works for you. The right stuff works for every last one of us. The right stuff recognizes that we are here by the power of the right stuff. And that right stuff gave us something to do while being here so that we could participate in life. Life is doing something. Life is about moving. Life is about creating. Life is about getting up, being alive. Not waiting around doing nothing, hating, stealing and lying and cheating and racist and bigots. No, life is about you, each of us, finding something that we love to do, choosing something that gives us our greatest love, fulfills our greatest love. This is what we came on this earth to do. This is your duty to humanity. This is your duty to life in America, to life wherever you are in the world. Whatever it is that you love, that's what you came to do. You came to use the resources that have been given to us as human beings freely. Oh, in complicated places, we have to dig it. Oil had to be stored in the ground, other stuff stored here and other stuff stored there. But we have the resources to understand, to recognize where it is and what needs to be done to get it. And we get the tools to do it. And that is all what we've been given to do. The talent's been given to those who love to do it, the ones that does everything. And who do everything? The workers. You, the workers. You do everything. Everything that's done by the hands of man, that's workers. You, your job is one of the most important jobs on the face of the earth, because without your job, no one could pay in. And every last one of you, under the right plan, has a role to play in making sure that that reservoir of goods and services that is there to make sure that your needs, your wants, and your desires are met, to make sure that you have to suffer for nothing that is necessary for survival or anything else that you might decide that you want and it has been made manifest. Nah, you don't have to suffer any of that, because everybody's working to make sure that the reservoir overflows and there'll never be a lack. And we'll live in peace and be prosperous and free and joyous and happy, satisfied and fulfilled in living the life rather than dreaming. Now that's God's plan. You think Republican and Democratic plan can touch that plan? You think it can do that? It can't touch it no kind of way. You think the United States government's plan can touch that? You think the United States Constitution can touch that? It can't touch it no kind of way. You think Russia, its system of doing stuff? You think China, its system of doing stuff? You think Africa and its system of doing stuff, you think anybody's system of doing stuff on this earth can touch what God has set up for all of us to enjoy, to live and not die? And yet, millions of you say you love God. And God tell you this right before your ears and eyes. And you still pushing for Trump, pushing for all this hell that we are going through as people, not just in America, but people all over the globe. They going through it in China just because they trying to flex their muscle like they got something going on. The people going through pure hell in China. Russia, you know they're going through pure hell. At least that's what they say. We know one thing, we're going through pure hell here in America. And I say we don't have to take it. I'm telling the people, we have been lied to. We have been programmed to believe that the systems that we live on are the things that work. They might be the things that work for somebody, but it's not the stuff that works for us. All of us. How many of us woke up this morning excited because life was fantastic? How many of us knew we didn't have anything to worry about because the day was going to be one of those days that you get a chance to be you and you are somebody? How many of you knew you were going to be glad to see people and people are going to be glad to see you and it was going to be a fulfilled day? And when you come home, you're going to be just satisfied. And then it's just really beginning all over again. Whatever life has for you. How many of you experienced that today? How many of you experienced that this week? Well, God designed it so you can experience it every day. And what does it require? It requires that you love God, first of all. Having loved God, you respect and honor God by loving yourself. That's doing everything to take care of yourself just like God prepared you to do. You. And as you love yourself, you love everybody else the same way. That means what it brings joy to you, you deny to no one. And that which brings pain and agony to you, you believe that it will hurt anyone. And your design is to make sure it doesn't happen to you as best you possibly can. And better, rather than just doing an individual thing, is focus on us all. And that will take care of it. So we don't have to be worried about the stuff of the world. God got a new plan. And who's going to implement it? It's going to be you. You who changed your mind and said you're not going to live like this. And you're not going to treat people from now on like you have seen people being treated all your life. You're going to make a difference. You're not going to wait for anyone else to do it. You're the one that's going to do it. You were born for a time just as this. I don't care what your life has been in the past. Right now, you are somebody. And nobody's more than you, and you are more than no one. And no one got more power over you than you got over them. But we have a system that would honor, and that is treating others always just like you want to be treated. Now, what does that do? That makes it easy for us to create a system. If you don't know how to create the system, just do that. Just do it as it said it is supposed to be done, and then look at it, and you can see the system. You can write the system up by looking at it. I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to say those kinds of things to you today. I really wanted to remind you that the power is in our hands, not the rich guys, not the big shots, not the CEOs, not the ones who got the big yachts. No, they just got money, which really has no value in life. It's a tool to misuse and abuse. That's what money is for. Now, they might have a different definition, but I'm telling you what the definition is when you start thinking about what it is denying all of the people. See, what we're talking about is for all of the people, not just for a group of us. We're talking about what's for all of the people. So while some people who's going along with their game is receiving something, it's nothing compared to the real thing that God has for them. Well, I think I've said enough. I believe I've said enough, and I want to thank you again for giving me this your time. Until next, Eddie Marcus say goodbye for now.